You're walking through a parking garage at night. Your footsteps echo, then you hear another set, just behind you, and your whole body changes before your mind even catches up. Your shoulders tighten, your pace quickens. Something inside you is scanning, calculating, preparing to run. You tell yourself it's nothing, but the real answer is far stranger. That jolt didn't come from your modern brain. It came from a circuit built for a predator that vanished from the earth 10,000 years ago. You're not really afraid of a stranger in a parking garage. You're afraid of something with teeth, something with claws, something that hunted creatures like you for nearly 2 million years and then disappeared completely. And your nervous system never got the memo. For most of human history, you were not the smartest animal on the savannah. You were prey. Large predatory cats stalked early hominins across the grasslands of Africa. Eagles big enough to lift a small child hunted from above. Pythons and venomous snakes waited coiled in tall grass at exactly head height for a crouching ancestor gathering food. For tens of millions of years, primates lived under constant threat from above, beside, and below. That pressure didn't just shape your ancestors' behavior. It rewired their brains, generation after generation, until fear itself became a kind of inheritance. Why does any of this matter to you, sitting in a well-lit room, scrolling on a phone? Because the part of your brain responsible for detecting danger, the amygdala, was built during that exact window of relentless predation, and it has not been substantially redesigned since. Neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux spent decades mapping this circuit, and what he found was unsettling. Your amygdala can register a threat and trigger a full-body response in a fraction of a second, long before your conscious mind even knows what it saw. You don't decide to be afraid. Your body decides for you. This is called biological preparedness, a term coined by psychologist Martin Seligman back in 1971. His idea was simple but radical. You are not a blank slate that learns to fear all things equally. You are pre-wired to fear some things faster, harder, and more permanently than others, specifically the things that used to kill your ancestors. Psychologist Susan Mineka tested this directly. She raised lab-bred rhesus monkeys that had never once encountered a snake. Then she showed them a video of a different monkey reacting with terror to a toy snake. Within a handful of viewings, the naive monkeys developed a lasting, intense fear of snakes. But when she showed those same monkeys a video of a monkey reacting fearfully to a flower, nothing happened. No fear at all. The monkeys weren't learning fear at random. They were filling in a template that was already sitting there, waiting. Anthropologist Lynne Isbell took this further with what's called the snake detection hypothesis. She argued that the sharp, forward-facing color vision sitting in your skull right now, the very thing letting you read these words, may have been shaped over millions of years specifically to spot a camouflaged shape coiled in the grass a split second before it struck. Here is where it gets stranger. You have probably never been bitten by a venomous snake. Statistically, you are far more likely to die in a car accident or a fall down the stairs. And yet none of those everyday hazards make your skin crawl the way a single photograph of a spider does. Your fear isn't calibrated to what's actually dangerous in your life today. It's calibrated to what was dangerous to a creature that no longer exists. So what happens when that ancient alarm system has nothing left to hunt? It doesn't go quiet. It goes looking. The same circuitry that once scanned tall grass for the silhouette of a crouching cat now scans your inbox for a curt one-word reply from your boss. The system that once flooded your body with adrenaline at the snap of a branch now floods it at a notification buzzing on a nightstand at 2 in the morning. A predator and a deadline can trigger almost the exact same biochemical cascade: cortisol, adrenaline, a racing heart that won't slow down on command. Think about the last time you felt a flash of dread for no clear reason. A strange noise in an empty house. A dark hallway you had to walk down alone. There was no leopard. There hasn't been a true ambush predator stalking a human being in most parts of the world for thousands of years. But your amygdala doesn't run on present-day statistics. It runs on inherited probability, an evolutionary insurance policy that would rather you flinch at 100 false alarms than miss the one real threat that could end your bloodline. This is why heights still tighten the stomach of people who have never fallen from one. This is why a sudden rustle in roadside bushes makes a grown adult flinch on a paved city sidewalk, blocks from the nearest patch of wilderness. None of this is irrational, even though it feels that way. It's a multi-million-year-old alarm system doing precisely the job it was built to do, inside a world that no longer needs it the way it once did. And here is the modern mirror: anxiety. The diagnosis millions of people quietly carry today may be less of a malfunction and more of a mismatch. Your fear circuitry isn't broken. It's simply out of date, running ancient software on hardware it was never designed for. The racing heart before a presentation, the dread that spikes when an unread message arrives from someone important, none of it means something is wrong with you. It means an ancient predator detection system has nowhere left to point itself, so it points at everything: bosses, deadlines, social rejection, uncertainty itself. There's something almost tender hidden inside that fact. Every flinch, every unexplained spike of dread is proof that someone on your family line survived long enough to pass that exact wiring down to you. The system isn't a flaw. It's a record, a living fossil sitting quietly behind your eyes, still doing the only job it has ever known how to do. Consider how this plays out across an ordinary day. A red notification badge on your phone can trigger the same cortisol spike that a glimpse of movement in tall grass once did. A traffic jam that makes you late triggers a surge of frustration that feels, biologically, almost identical to being cornered. Your body cannot tell the difference between a stressful email and a stalking leopard because as far as your amygdala is concerned, they belong to the same category: a threat demanding an immediate, full-body response. So the next time your chest tightens for no obvious reason, in an elevator, in a meeting, in an empty stairwell, you might ask yourself a different question than "Why am I scared right now?" You might ask instead, "What is my body still hunting for?" Because somewhere in the deep architecture of your nervous system, a predator that has been extinct for 10,000 years is still being watched for every single day, whether you notice it or not. It never showed up again to collect on the alarm it left behind. But the alarm never stopped working, and it never will. Not because you're broken, because that alarm, ancient and overzealous as it is the very reason your ancestors lived long enough for you to exist at all. You're walking through a parking garage at night, footsteps behind you. Your body tightens, your pace quickens, and for 1/2 second you are not in a parking garage at all. You're standing in tall grass on an ancient savanna, eyes scanning the shadows for a predator that died 10,000 years ago, and some quiet part of you is still, somehow, grateful that it's still looking.